to this eventually. Someday you'll see. Fault lines, 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 breaking under my feet. Oh, it gets quiet in the dark. I get closer to an answer, then everything blurs over, and I forget again. I want to land on solid ground, feel the earth underneath me. I fell for you harder. You will always remember, won't you? You made these fault lines break under my feet. Oh, alright, I'll get used to this eventually. Don't hold your breath for me. Fault lines breaking under my feet. Oh, alright, I'll get used to this eventually. Someday you'll see. Fault lines, 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 breaking under my feet. Oh, it takes everything I've got to bend with the waves. It takes everything crashing. The wind is howling and the earth splits open again. Ooh, fault lines breaking under my feet. Oh, alright, I'll get used to this eventually, but don't wait for me. Fault lines breaking under my feet. Oh, alright, I'll get used to this. I'll get used to this eventually. Fault lines, 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 breaking under me. Oh, oh.
With the commish, Nate.
Hey, welcome into Press Pass Live, your weekly podcast show for the OMFL, the world's oldest and longest online CFM. Started in 2001, it's a PC league still in. I am your founder of the commish, Nate, and I am running a solo mission tonight. We might have some other buddies come and join us here just a little bit, but as of right now, I am running a solo mission. We'll have to see how this is going to go exactly. Should be a pretty fun night, hopefully. We got not a ton to talk about. I was sort of struggling today about like, what do we talk about? It's Super Bowl week. Things are busy. Things are crazy over here. And well, we might as well talk about our favorite subject of the Super Bowl this week. So I want to know in the chat as you guys come and join me, who are you pulling for in the NFL Super Bowl? And we're going to talk about our favorite Super Bowl team. Like if we were creating a Super Bowl team using OMFL teams only, who would be the quarterback? Who would be your running back? Who would be your wide receiver or slash tight end? Who would be your defensive lineman? Who would be your all-star linebacker? Who would be your all-star DB? How would you put together your team? We're not going to build all 22, but we're just going to try to have some fun with it. All right, until the guys get here, let me go ahead and jump right into it. If I can figure out exactly what buttons I'm supposed to press here. And let's jump into recapping some games for week 6, 7, and 8. I will kind of come over here and keep an eye on the chat. There are no Press Pass Live mailbag questions. There is no OMFL news. There is no co-host. I've been left to dry. No one cares about me. No one cares what I'm over here trying to do. And hopefully we're going to get this thing figured out. Let me make sure everything is working. Yeah, everything's working the way that we wanted to. Everything looking good. The chat is empty. Where's everybody? Where'd everybody go? Anyway, let's cover some games for week 6, 7, and 8. Atlanta falls to the Baltimore Ravens 24-13. Washington beats Tampa Bay 19-14. The New York Giants kill the New Orleans Saints 14-3 in a terrible defensive matchup for the New Orleans Saints. The offense couldn't get anything going. Minnesota with a 28-21 victory over the Detroit Lions. Kansas City with a tight victory against the New England Patriots 27-24. I got to watch this one. It was a ton of fun to watch. The LA Rams fall to the Philadelphia Eagles 24-3. Tennessee Titans win 26-7 against the Houston Texans. You expected Rodgers to score more points there, but Tennessee showing that lockdown defense that they tend to have. Dallas squeezes away from the Carolina Panthers 24-19. I want to come back and talk about that game. Should be a lot of fun. Green Bay with a 27-13 victory over the Chicago Bears. That was before he goes on a 2-game losing streak, though. So we're going to talk some about those Green Bay Packers. The New York Giants with a 44-38 victory over the Las Vegas Raiders. The Seattle Seahawks with a dominating 47-22 victory over the Arizona Cardinals. The Buffalo Bills fall to the San Francisco 49ers 27-14. The Miami Dolphins with a 31-23 victory over the Denver Broncos. And finally, the Pittsburgh Steelers with a 23-17 victory over the Cleveland Browns. Let's go look at this Dallas and Carolina game. I got to kind of stick my head in on this one and watch it from time to time. Carolina scoring 9 points in the fourth quarter, but they fall just short in their comeback video, or their comeback attempt in this game. 295 total yards to 270, 167 rushing yards, 128 passing yards for the Dallas Cowboys, 183 passing yards for the Carolina Panthers, only 87 rushing yards, 16-15 on the first downs, 402 total yards gained to 287. One turnover each. Third down conversions 5-3. So Carolina was doing really well there. And then the time of possession, just a minute difference between these two teams, with Dallas having it for 18:30 and Carolina 17:30. Let's break it down just a little bit and look at some stats. Bryce Young struggled today. One interception on the day, 56% completion percentage, only 196 yards. Dak Prescott, super efficient, 10 of 16 for 62%. He did throw 2 touchdowns, though, which boosts that QBR rating to 105.7. McMullins, 15 for 122 and 8.1 average, 1 touchdown. He only had to break 1 tackle. This guy had a lot of big lanes to run through, and Dallas was pretty dominant up front. Jonathan Brooks, 12 for 58, a 4.8 yards per carry average, which is pretty good, but he only had 12 carries on the day. and the 1 touchdown. That is a tackle-breaking machine over there in Carolina. Leggett, 6 receptions, 99 yards, no touchdowns. Jake Ferguson, 3 for 52 with 1 touchdown. Ooh, I'd have to go back and read. No, I guess receptions-wise, Ferguson was good, but gave up the chunk plays. So Carolina giving up the chunk plays there to the tight end, which is never a good feeling. You never feel good about that. Sacks, you can see Morton Corbett gave up 1 BB for the Dallas Cowboys. Then your tackles leaders and sack leaders and interception leaders. Barnes leading the game with 11 tackles. That guy is a tackling machine. Your sack leaders on the day, Barnes, Williams, Parsons, and Brown. And then finally your interceptions, Bell and Stevenson, each getting 1 apiece. And Dallas coming away with a very nice victory against the Carolina Panthers team that's still sort of trying to find their way, but a team that is leading the NFC South currently. Taking a look at week number 7, the Seattle Seahawks beat the Green Bay Packers. I actually watched this one while I was driving on the road, 24-17. Tampa Bay falls to Atlanta, 13-9. The Miami Dolphins, the 3-point victory and offensive shootout there in Vegas, or actually in Miami, with a 45-42 victory over the Raiders. Sorry, guys. I'm dealing with like some sinuses. We're going to get through it, though. I promise. Over here, Denver. Where am I at? Where we go? Come on, wake up. This mouse and this keyboard all go to sleep. You never see anything. Still in here by myself. Where are you guys at? Baltimore, the 31-6 victory over the Denver Broncos. Cincinnati, 36. Jacksonville, 17. Arizona with a nice bounce-back victory, 24-20 against Chicago. Kansas City, 16-13 over Cleveland. That was another fun game. I got to sneak peek on that one. The Colts with a nice victory, 36-17 over the Patriots, who are still reeling from not having their superstar quarterback. Dallas with a 28-20 victory over the Eagles. The Giants rebounding with a 20-6 victory over the Washington Commanders. The Detroit Lions with a 41-35 victory over Tennessee. This one probably made a bunch of people go boom on the gold sheet and the pick'em. Carolina sneaks out of New Orleans with a 34-31 victory. And then finally the Chargers with a 31-20 victory over the Houston Texans. I'm going to go ahead and talk about this Detroit game. What a nice victory for Tim and his Lions, who aren't really having the season that I think he wanted to have this year. But this is a big-time game. 441 yards for the Tennessee Titans, 375 total yards for the Detroit Lions. 157 rushing, 284 yards passing for Tennessee, 279 passing, 96 rushing, 17 first downs to 21 first downs. Look at this number, 441 total yards, but the 5 turnovers for Tennessee. You cannot turn the ball over that many times. It led to 31 points in the second half. They only scored 14 points, and that is always going to lead you to a tough game. Detroit winning the time of possession. Anytime you can win the time of possession and the turnover game, you're going to get more victories than you do losses. Jesse Vargas, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, a 61% completion percentage. Jordan Love struggling on the day, 2 touchdowns, but 3 interceptions, 69% completion percentage. So he's pretty active, just turning the ball over 3 too many times. Rushing, Mayberry, 14 for 129 yards. This is dangerous for the OMFL that this guy has found a superstar from Oklahoma at running back, but the 2 fumbles really would come back to hurt him. Nothing really super, standing out from the run game of Detroit. 47 for Derrick Henry, 36 there for Jamar Gibbs. You'd look to see Gibbs get a little bit more action, kind of get those things going. 3 receptions for Williams, 143 yards and 2 touchdowns. Collins, who's a superstar, 6 for 107 and a touchdown. Bobby Freeman, 5 for 103 and a touchdown. Couple of sacks given up on the day, mainly there from Detroit, Crowder and O'Neal, each giving up one. And then your defensive leaders, John Watkins, 12 tackles, 2 for loss. Your sack leaders, Phillips, Simmons, Griffin, Franklin Myers, each had one. And then finally, your interception leaders, Arnold had him a heck of a game, 2 interceptions on the day. And then the future, what I think, Hall of Famer, Mr. Bruce Ross, 1 interception return for 7 yards and a deflection on the day. A big-time victory for Tim and his Lions. And then finally, we're in one more game that I think is happening right now, Lions and Bills for week number 8. But let's cover the scores that we have right now. New York Jets come away with a 20-17 victory over the LA Chargers. We're going to come back and cover that game. Here's a fun game. Atlanta with a 7-point victory over the Cincinnati Bengals, 38-31. Baltimore with a dominating victory, 31-3. I know Nisonger's like me. Feels like he's in the blender right now, even after having a couple of early season wins. Cleveland snuck away from my Saints this afternoon, 27-24. That was a heartbreaker. We had a tie game, less than a minute left to go. He starts to go through there. I can show you the standings, Alex. He starts to drive on me. I read the play. I go to make it. I was there, and Madden said, nay. The receiver caught it. He ends up going for a big play, kicking the field goal to win. Tampa Bay with a dominating victory, 42-24 over Chicago. The Giants 30, Houston 7. Dallas with a 34-28 victory over the Cardinals. Poor Joker has built a great team. It just can't. It feels like me, except he's winning way more games. He just can't get over the hump in these close games. San Francisco showing off in his offensive skill set. 49-7 against the Rams. Denver in the Buddy Bowl sneaking away with a 20-14 victory over the Raiders. Seattle with a 35-28 victory over the Kansas City Chiefs. Oh, it's Arizona. I was like, wait a second. Did we cover that game? I don't know. I had a moment there. Had a little mini stroke. Miami with a 33-20 victory over the New England Patriots. Minnesota 17, Green Bay 7. 2-game skid there for the Green Bay Packers after being undefeated. And I think our last undefeated team that we had. And then Tennessee bouncing back with a 31-21 victory against the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts team, who I thought had started to find some momentum, but lost a really close one there. Let's come back up here and talk about this Jets and Chargers game. You got to give it to Logan. He has figured some things out, but man, Cincy is building a really good team there in New York. 346-249, 108 rushing yards to only 48 for the Jets. Usually those are not games that you're going to win. 298 passing yards to 141, 14 first downs to 20 first downs for the Jets. Kick return yards, who cares? Total yards, 408 to 322. The difference in this game, 2 turnovers, I should say, for the Jets. Only 1 turnover for the Chargers, but the Jets did win the time of possession and only allowing 3 points in the fourth quarter to come away with a 3-point victory. Mac Dimes with a great day, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Look at that number, completion percentage, 81% completion percentage, only 1 sack on the day. Justin Herbert, I don't know why. I'm from the South. We say Hebert. It's Herbert. I know it's Herbert. He was 11 for 19, 2 sacks on the day, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Pierce 10 for 54, Dobbins 4 for 45, Allen 4 for 25. Nobody wanted to get the run game going in this one. Receiving though, Lowry, this guy is an absolute superstar. 8 for 107 and a touchdown. DK Metcalf 5 for 79. Devontae Adams, he's still getting it done. 7 for 71. Looking at your sack giving uppers, Alt and Williams each gave up 1. And then finally, your defensive leaders, Christian Fulton from LSU, 7 tackles on the day. Probably never a good thing whenever your DBs are leading the game in tackles. He had 1 tackle for loss. Your sack leaders is going to be Henley, Brick and McDonald. And then your interceptions are going to be Colson and Matthew. Matthew's still getting it done. I've watched him make a couple plays there for Cincy. I just couldn't keep paying the guy. And the Cincyburg-led New York Jets, that's a mind bender, tongue twister. We'll get all the words out. Comes away with a really big-time victory. Let's look at some standings because, well, Alec Asphalt, sorry, it's Alex in my head. I know it's not Alex. We're going to get it out, Alec. Let's go look at a couple of standings really quick before we move on to our next thing. This is stats. That is not what we want. We want that very first one. Standings. There you go. Let's run through them really quick. AFC North, you got the Ravens at 8-0, Steelers 3-3, Browns at 4-4, Bengals at 3-4. I never would have called that at the beginning of the season. Titans at 6-2, Colts at 4-3, Jaguars at 3-4, the Texans at 0-8. Didn't expect to see that either. AFC East, Jets at 5-2, Bills at 3-3. He's on a 3-game skid. That's crazy to see. Dolphins 4-4, Patriots losing their superstar quarterback. He's sitting at 1-7. Which kind of scares me because he's going to get a high draft pick and he's going to keep adding to that really, really good team. He's going to bounce back next season. Chargers at 5-2, Chiefs at 5-3. This has become a fun division. Broncos at 3-5, Raiders at 2-6. NFC North, Packers at 6-2, Lions at 4-3, Vikings at 3-4. Big Hurt trying to claw his way back into it. Bears at 3-5, NFC South, no one cares. Panthers at 4-3, Falcons at 4-4, Bucks at 1-6, Saints at 1-6-1. Both of those teams. NFC East, Cowboys at 7-1. This is one of the better divisions. Giants at 6-2. Commanders at 2-5, Eagles at 1-6. Another team I would not expect to be 1-6. And then finally, the NFC West, Seahawks 6-2, 49ers 5-2. Cardinals 4-4, but the toughest 4-4 team you'll ever see. And then finally, the Rams are sitting at 3-4. All right, let me go look over here. And yeah, I'm still by myself. I don't know where everybody's at. They said they'd be here, and no one's here. Poor Maniac is still playing his game. Big Hurt didn't respond. I don't know where. There's nobody in chat but me and Alec. Where's everybody at, OMFL? Wake up. What are you doing? There's no mailbag questions. Going to be the shortest Press Pass Live in the last 3 or 4 years. I'll have to go back through the mailbag just to make sure there is nothing in there. Let's go ahead and bring it up real quick. Front office, Press Pass Live. Let's go full view. Yeah, I think we got everything covered. So actually, you know what? Maniac has a question that we can go and cover. All right. No OMFL news, I guess mainly because Mr. Denbrew couldn't play last night. And so we ended up having to play today, which probably led him to absolutely no time to make an OMFL news. Logan, you have led the league in 3-point losses. Yeah, it's been crazy, Logan. I can't win close games. My offensive line is just, they're terrible. I really am having fun, though. Fun's probably too dramatic of a term. I'm enjoying it. I am building, and I can kind of keep that in mind. I'm trying to be way more positive overall. I'm trying to keep it in mind that I'm building. We are putting into the young players. We're flipping this roster around. We're going to go have a solid draft, a good offseason. I did just pay my wide receiver a lot of money. I've got a couple other really big-time players that I got to make decisions on. But we're going to keep building. We're going to keep pouring into these guys. We're going to keep going. The problem that's going to hurt our team now for the rest of the season is really going to be what's the word I'm looking for? What's that stupid thing called? Not momentum. That's the word in my head, but it's not momentum. It's whatever that other stupid thing that lowers your overall. Oh, why can't I think of this stupid thing? It's going to pop up. I'm going to be like, oh yeah, that's it right there. It's all the way at the end. What is the stupid thing? Come on. Morale, that's it. Jeez, why didn't I see it? I hate that that's in the game. I even posted that they should allow us to reset it like we used to be able to. I'm going to go double check, make sure we still can't. We still can't, which is still very stupid to me absolutely kills it. But we're going to keep pushing. We're going to keep building. And I want to talk about building what I think would be my Super Bowl team. I thought this would be a fun question for everybody to unpack. But again, I'm here by myself tonight. So it's good to see you guys in the chat finally. So let's go ahead and bring this up. Let's bring it up over here. Boom. Boom. We're going to close these. There we go. That's what I want. All right. Now what do we need to do? We need to come over here. Do one of these things here. Come back over here. There we go. All right. This is our Neon Sports page. Try to make sure I got all this the way I wanted to. Yeah, we're going to leave it like that. Okay, if we are building our Super Bowl team using only OMFL players, we're going to come over here. We're going to do a little search here. Probably going to do this by overall, even unless I can kind of come up with some other guys. Let's pick our quarterback. Who would quarterback our team? I want to know in the chat, if you were picking from any team, your own team, any team, you can pick whoever you want. Who would be the quarterback for your OMFL Super Bowl team? Let's go ahead and look at a couple of our top options here. Of course, all the names you expect to see: Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Austin Henry, Patrick Mahomes, Brad White, Rex Manning Jr., Rusty Starr, Caleb Williams, which I didn't realize he's already up to a 98. There's a lot of really fun ones to pick from. But if I could pick one guy to just manage and move my team, I think, honestly, I am going to take Brad White. I was struggling between him and Joe Duke. I think Brad White does it all, though. You can see he's 99 overall. He's 28 years old. He's at the height of his career. 87 speed, 82 acceleration. The rest is off the charts. The guy can throw it. He can run it. He can do it all. I really like Brad White. When you watch him in that Seahawks offense, he is so just deadly with him. He knows that if he needs to play, that guy's going to go make a play for him. I really like Joe Duke, though, as well. He's 24, so he is younger. He's about the same size, 2 inches shorter, 233. White is 243, so a little bit smaller. Also, Brad White's from LSU, big LSU fan. He has 87 speed, 85 acceleration, so a little bit quicker. Not quite as smart. He's not at the 99 awareness. He's at 90 awareness. Detroit down 1, 19 seconds left on 30. All 3 timeouts. It should be a ton of fun. Who's Detroit playing? That's Buffalo. That's right. Him and Buffalo are playing. So though I like Joe Duke, that I'd probably pick to build my team around, this isn't building a team. This is winning a Super Bowl, the big game. I'm taking Brad White. In the chat, let me know who you're taking. I think I seen Mr. Alex say Lamar or Joe. You got to pick one. R is not picking one, so you got to pick one. Looking at the running backs here in the OMFL, you got Mr. Rooster Winters for the Kansas City Chiefs, 99 overall. Kenneth Walker III, 96 overall. Bruce Allen, 96. Travis Etienne, 95. A-Chain, 93. Chance McMullen, 93. Josh Jacobs, 92. Jamar Gibbs, 92. This one is all about speed, and more speed. And how can you not just go with Chance McMullen? 93 overall. He's 24 years old, 6'2", 229. That guy is an absolute bull. 94 speed, 77 strength, 88 agility, 93 acceleration. This guy can do it all. You can see his value. He's one of the top rated running backs in our league. I'm taking Chance McMullen all day, every day. That guy is an absolute superstar. Randy said he's taking Rusty. I don't blame you. Rusty is a very good player, and you can see the need that they are missing from not having him right now over in New England. Yeah, Lamar is awesome. He can do it all, right? He's got the arm, he's got the legs. Now, Nipples doesn't use his legs a lot, but that is always an option. You can run. You have to keep it under a certain amount. So we do let you run, and you can use mobile quarterbacks. You just can't, go crazy with 14 or 15 carries. But there is, as long as you keep it under a certain amount, he is definitely allowed. So I am taking Chance McMullen. Let me know who is going to be your running back. Even if you're watching this after hours, who would be your running back in the OMFL to win a Super Bowl? You got one game, putting together a roster. Who would it be? 6 seconds left on Buffalo 40. How many timeouts, Ryan? Well, by now it's probably over. Because I feel like that message was a few minutes ago. Detroit missed a 40-yarder to win it. Welcome to Buffalo. That's right. Those meters go absolutely crazy. People have been begging me to turn it off, but no, that's sort of the whole point of having to go play in Buffalo. Don't find yourself in a 3-point game. Looking at wide receiver / tight end, I'm personally taking a wide receiver, and I think there's a lot of guys that you could choose from. Eli Barkley is a guy that I've liked watching kind of grow up in the OMFL. Can't go wrong with Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, LSU Homer. I'm letting it come out in me a little bit. Watching Xavier Worthy over the last few weeks has been absolutely nuts. I've personally faced Malik Neighbors. That guy gets open time and time again. I love Hal for the Saints. The guy does it all. He can do it all. I think, though, if I had one game, I had to go win a game, how could you pass up a 6'1", 204-pound wide receiver with 99 speed, 99 agility, 98 acceleration, and 96 awareness? Give me Brandon DeMarco, the best big play deep threat in the entire league. The guy can do it all. He's strong. He makes plays. And on just about any other roster, that guy is probably already a Hall of Famer. He's virtually a shoe-in for the Pro Bowl every single season. Mr. Roger knows exactly how to use him. That guy is an absolute star. And I think doesn't really get the credit because poor Raj just doesn't have a ton of success. Offensive line, I wasn't really going to pick offensive line, but this goes into the question that Maniac posted, and so we'll cover it right now since we're on the subject. He said, who would be your best offensive line unit in the entire league? And this is really just kind of up for debate. Who would you go with? Who do you think has the best offensive line in the entire league? You can't argue what you've seen from Detroit. I believe that offensive line has led to a lot of success that he is having in Detroit. I know the season, we're almost at the midway point, sort of, or at the midway point here as we're moving to week number 9. But I think he has single-handedly built a great offensive line, just not seeing sort of the powerhouse success. I'm going to take the low-hanging fruit. It's got to be Cincinnati. I think his center is 89. His right guard is 88. His left tackle is 87. His left guard is 87. And I'm pretty sure his other guys up here too. No, he's not even in the top 50. But when 4 of your top 5 guys are not only in the top 50, but rough math in the top 28, 30, that's pretty good. You got a pretty good offensive line. Cincinnati has a powerhouse of an offensive line, and I look for them to continue to build. The next question is sort of a little bit of a weird one, but we're going to go defensive line, just general as a whole unit, and you can pick the one guy. Who's the one guy? Defensive tackle, defensive end? Do you want the edge rusher? Do you want the run stopper? I think I want a big guy in the middle. Nothing is more disruptive than being able to put pressure up front, right in the middle. Also a guy that can stop the run up the middle. You start forcing the runs to the outside, your fast linebackers hopefully can shut that down. Let your defensive lineman get the pressure from the edges, cause that quarterback to drop back further than he wants to. Let those defensive ends get after him. Give me the big guy right up the middle. And there's a plethora of guys that you can pick from here, from Quentin Williams to Dexter Lawrence. Who else? I just missed another one that was up here. Chris Jones is another guy. Jerome Wayne is another guy that's really, really good. I'm taking, though, Al Johnson for the Carolina Panthers. Him or Brown, really. It would be sort of an either or because Brown is exceptionally well, too. I also really like, hint, the LA Rams. They got some really good defensive tackles over there, and I've seen him, especially when Logan had them. I have not played them since Logan has left. Those guys just wreak havoc in the backfield. Actually, I'm changing my answer. I'm going Brown. This guy just wreaks havoc. 6'5", 320, an X factor 95 overall, 98 strength, still with the 73 speed, so he can still has a little speed and momentum to get back there. 79 acceleration and 94 awareness. I really like having big, strong, fast, athletic defensive tackle that can make plays back there. Looking at the linebacker, who's the one linebacker that you're picking? I'm going to pick just linebacker as a whole. I'm a sucker for a good middle linebacker. Give me a guy that can shut it all down. Give me a guy that can go sideline to sideline, a guy that can shoot the gap. Give me a guy that can make plays in the pass game and the run game. And boy, the OMFL is filled with really good middle linebackers. There's a ton here that we can talk about. Joe Hayden, that guy's been superb over there in New York. Raekwon Smith, Fred Warner, I think sneakily always has solid seasons, always in the Pro Bowl somewhere. You can look at Patrick Queen getting it done for Pittsburgh. You can look at Colin Peterson, Ernest Jones, Dre Greenlaw, Dale Durham. I think that guy is just going to continue to take the OMFL by storm. Bobby Arike, that guy, I used to have him a couple of Madden cycles ago, is a playmaker. Nick Bolton, Junior Colston, we'll get it out. Colston, like the Saints wide receiver. My pick, though, is Mr. Bruce Ross. Detroit has a really good athletic middle linebacker. This guy's 27, 6 foot, 233, 90 speed, 76 strength, 92 acceleration, 90 agility, and 87 awareness. This was Trey's sort of golden ticket for a little bit. He really had so many great defensive pieces. He put together a heck of a roster over there. And this one really started right there with Mr. Bruce Ross. He gets it done. I'd love to have him on my roster to win a Super Bowl. Now looking at DB, where would you guys put the most emphasis? Is it cornerback? Is it safety? Is it strong or free? Where are you putting a lot of the emphasis? I got to just go with what I think all of us would think, and that would be give me a playmaking cornerback. Give me somebody that I can stick on the number one dude, and he's just going to lock him down. I don't have to worry about it. I can go take a lesser player at safety, and I can go roam and make some plays. And boy, there is a ton of good ones. Look at how many 95-plus cornerbacks we have here in the OMFL. Christian Ford, Julian Mitchell, Calvin Graham. Oh, no, he's a safety. Sorry. Jalen Belton, even though he was the OMFL Bowl number 112 MVP. Steve Raymond, Patrick Surtain, Sauce Gardner, Deion Samuels, Devontae Witherspoon, Antonio Winfield Jr., he's a safety, Adrian Shepard, Andrew Lawrence, Jalen Ramsey, Richard Richards, I hate that he did that, Denzel Ward. These guys are just top and bottom, tons of just stud cornerbacks that you can put everywhere. My personal guy that I'd have to go with would be Deion Samuels. I've played this guy, and it was just stupid to watch, even with a step or two on the DB. You would toss it out there, be a perfect lead. This guy would literally just outrun your wide receiver and go make a play, especially with the way that Madden allows plays to go be made. 95 speed, 60 strength, 90 agility, 96 acceleration, 96 awareness. Even though you got to look up here to Julian Mitchell, the cornerback out of Baltimore. He's 29, but he's 99 speed, 99 acceleration, 96 awareness. That's going to be pretty tough to try to get behind and make plays. This guy just makes a ton of plays for San Francisco, and I've watched him single-handedly win games. So you going DB, you going safety, what are you going with? No matter when you watch this, I want to hear your input. I want to hear what you guys are thinking. So let me know. Leave it down in the comments and tell me what you're thinking for your team. Let's go over here. Let's bring this back up and let's bring this down and get back over here. I think we're done. There's nothing. There's nobody here as a co-host. Nobody jumped in here with me. Let's give Mr. Maniac credit for his question. We got to put that on the waiting list. There's no mailbag question. So now I got to be honest. You guys dropped the ball this week. You left me out in the cold. Nobody came to join me. Nobody was in here giving me any type of questions to look at. This is a sad Monday for me, but that's okay. I'm going to go play some shooters because I haven't played shooters all weekend. Been a ton of fun. Leave me your comments. I want to know what you were thinking. I want to know what you're thinking about the team. I want to know what you were thinking about the games this past week. I want to know what you were thinking. Where am I looking for? Oh, there it is. Sorry. I want to know. I just seen Mr. Lost Sniper's going to advance. I'm going to let him do the thing. I'm not going to mess with it because you know what's going to happen since one of us will hit it and the other think, oh, I got to hit it. And then before you know it, we both hit it and we're now like way over, we've advanced twice, which is a terrible feeling to have. Guys, I love you. I appreciate you. Not a great show by myself. I was scrambling. It's a full day. It is what it is, but hopefully you still enjoyed it. Leave me your comments in the chat if you weren't here and you're watching this a little bit later. I want to know what you were thinking. I appreciate you. OMFL, I see you. I love you. Take care of yourselves. Take care of those around you. Know that you matter. I can't wait to see you on the next one. Pick 'em. I went bust because I missed the rule, Cincy, that you can't pick a team twice. That used to be a rule and then it went away and I didn't realize it came back, or maybe I just always missed it. So I totally dropped it. My gold sheet, I was gone most this week traveling, so I didn't bet this week, but it's been bust too. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people went bust this week because there's been a lot of crazy games, but I think you are doing spot on with those lines. They are hard to pick, and that's exactly what we want. I think you're doing an awesome job. Whatever your little secret, whatever your little formula it is definitely working. And I hope that baby, I think boy, right? I think you have a baby boy. Oh, anyway, I hope the family's good, Mr. Cincy. All right, guys, love you. Take care of yourselves. I'm out. Peace.
Smash that like and subscribe.